Well, it's now Sunday. As you can see, I've had to leave Andy behind, my longest serving friend. God knows why she puts up with me. And now I'm off to Milton Keynes, where there's a classic car meet at the Milton Keynes Museum. And one of the groups that are going to be there is the K Cars in the Park group. So this isn't the K car, and I'm hoping no one notices, because Purple Myrtle is 10 centimeters too long and her engine is too big. I mean, it's hard to imagine an 800cc engine being too big, but that is very much the case here with Purple Myrtle. K car regs limiting it to 660. I love that noise. I am very aware that I've swapped the Rover, a marvellous cruiser and distance machine, for a noisy little hatchback, and I've got quite a lot of miles to do soon as well, so I'm hoping the wheel bearing is going to be okay. I can hear it grumbling away. I think I'm going to try and give the Matiz a service next week if I can get the parts. So yeah, still lots to do to nurse this car back to health, but we are getting there, and it seems to go quite nicely. And so we shall continue on to Milton Keynes. Oh yes, this looks like the right place. Got a Suzuki Cappuccino and a Daihatsu Miragino in front of us. Brilliant. Well, we've arrived at the museum, and I'm giving the Autoglim Super Resin Polish a good test, trying to shine up the paint. So there's a bit I've polished, and there's a bit I haven't. You can see how mucky that is compared to that bit. I'm not getting a brilliant finish, but anything's better than how she currently is. So giving her a buff up. Here's some other cars that are here. This is a K-size Suzuki Wagon-R, so you'll recognise the shape because we got the Wagon-R in this country, but our Wagon-Rs were bigger. This is actual K-size, so 3.3 meters long, and I think they're about 1/8 wide. So yeah, I find it quite amusing. I also find it quite amusing just how small the intercooler is. And it's absolutely tiny. 660cc as per the K car regs. But yeah, so Purple Myrtle's looking quite enormous next to this Daihatsu Miragino, and yeah, you can see what inspired the Gino, can't you really? Blatantly mini front. We've got Daihatsu Copen next to a triplet of Suzuki Cappuccinos. Probably the most popular of K cars in the UK, because the Cappuccino was sold here. Right, nothing for it. I'm going to have to carry on buffing my Myrtle. Look at that for a transformation. So that's Autoglim Super Resin Polish, and also the bumper and trim gel on this bit. I'm going to have to get in here at a later date. That's not going to be a fun job. But wow, Purple Myrtle is shiny again. Quite pleased with that. I haven't done the passenger side yet. I'm still working on that. I've done the front wing, although I can still see it's a bit uneven in places. And I haven't done the doors yet, which you can see are almost completely matte. So you go from seeing a reflection there to not so much. But there's only one thing for it. I'm going to have to do more polishing. Right, that's enough polishing, I think. I've done the body, I've done the plastics. She's all shiny. I think I may have to soon give in and have bacon. Right, it is time to leave this event and drive all the way back to Wales. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's going to take quite a while. Might stop for dinner along the way. Bye bye, tiny K cars. I like K cars, they're fun. Oh, we're almost back at the M1 motorway. We've still got 169 miles to go to get home, but we are getting there. Incidentally, the bottom of the windscreen is so far away, you can just see the clock, which is not reading correctly. That is about a quarter of an hour slow. And I would like to adjust it, but it's completely out of reach unless I stop the car. And of course, every time I stop the car, I forget that that would be a good time to change the time. So yeah, we're having to divert around the A5 being closed. That's very handy. But we are getting there. Fuel gauge has moved just a bit off full. We've covered 75 miles since I filled up this morning, so it's going to be a big mileage day for the little Matiz. Grrr. Little cars are great, he says at the beginning of a long motorway journey. Let's see how I feel about that in another 3 hours. People, pick the pace up, there's a truck coming. Accelerate, goodness sake. Oh, a Prius, that explains a lot. We're getting closer to Wales. Yes, those are rain clouds. Power. Someone's on their way home from the LRO show at Peterborough. I just thought I'd talk for a bit about how this car's going. I mean, it's not the quietest of motorway speeds, but we've been averaging an indicated 70. I've had to borrow an interior mirror because mine fell off. And I've got one stuck there. It's not quite in the right place, but it's better than nothing. And I like the fact, because it's got quarter lights, small fixed windows in the front doors, you can have the window open and it's not buffeting, it's not painful. It is still noisy, so we'll do that up for a bit. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, she's sailing along. We've probably done 100 miles now on the motorway. And well, it's not as peaceful and relaxing as the Rover. It's really not bad. Not bad at all. Which is good. One big problem, I don't know if it's my charger or the 12-volt power outlet, but when I'm doing video or using the sat-nav, I can't seem to get enough juice into my phone. Might have to use the old iClever jump pack to keep it topped up. Many shameful episodes linked to this car. No, not like that, clear your minds. But the first one was that you know, we saw me Halfords in Shirley, Solihull, with the car I purchased in 1999. What I didn't mention is that I traded in a Citroen BX diesel. It was the first car I bought with a loan, I think, that BX. And the good thing about that loan being that I got a PPI payment of it. Hurrah! Years later. But I digress. Yeah, I bought the BX in January 99, I think, for 1,600 quid, and promptly traded it in for, I think, 660 against this very car, thereby proving what a stupid idiot I was back then. But it was going to get worse, because 18 months later, when I finally got bored of this car for the first time, I traded it in for a Subaru Impreza Sport. I was 21 and decided to celebrate that by getting a completely inappropriate car, which I crashed after 2 days. Wouldn't have happened if I was in the Matiz. I can't remember the details of that transaction, but I do know the Matiz's finance got rolled into the Impreza's finance, and there was still the original loan for the BX to pay as well. I've never been very good with numbers, which is why when it comes to Hubnut merchandise, I try to keep Mrs. Hubnut involved, because she is good with numbers. Anyway, we're approaching the Welsh border, and going well. We've covered 183 miles since I filled up this morning, and we've still got over half a tank of fuel left. So this car might help me balance out the fact that the Rover is not very good on fuel. The only problem really is it just, I mean, it isn't a very powerful car. It's not pulling very cleanly, so I suspect that there are improvements to be made, but not much. It only had 42 brake horsepower when it was new, and you put your foot down in fifth at speed and nothing happens. Very much just a cruising gear, so it's a bit like the 2CV. You have to stir the cogs a bit to keep it on the boil. But so far, nostalgia isn't disappointing. It's quite nice to be back, which is nice. It's all getting very pretty and Welsh and slightly wet. First time these two cars have seen each other for many years. It's Myrtle and Ellie. Must be 2001 would be the last time these two saw each other. Anyway, 244 miles after filling up this morning, I'm home. Phew. And there we go. 2CV meets Matiz. And there we go. That was the story of how Purple Myrtle, who isn't really purple, came to finally reach my house 2 months after purchase and be reintroduced to Ellie the 2CV. They were once friends when I lived somewhere very different to here. In fact, here is Myrtle outside my old house. And yeah, it wasn't a bad journey. Not the most refined car, but what do you expect of a 0.8 litre city car? We've got all these anti-theft measures in place, anti-theft system, stop locks, Daewoo security. So yeah, I've got the key with me, so I'm all right. But if we take a look at the fuel gauge, that's still on a quarter, and we've covered 273 miles. So I'm going to say that's not bad, and nothing too horrendous. I've got my temporary mirror up there. Thank you very much to Cam for lending me that. That's been an absolute godsend because the actual mirror is on the floor. And one little thing I have discovered, a slight negative, there should be a headlamp height control here, and there isn't one. There's just a hole, and I think that's why these stickers are here. I'm slightly confused by that. I haven't really worked out what's happened there, but we shall investigate. The other thing I need to do is work out what's going on with the stereo, because it appears to have no aerial attached. Perhaps the previous owner, being Polish, didn't care much for UK radio stations. It's got an aux, it's got USB, it's got an SD card slot. So it's very much set up for that electronic music, which I understand is all the rage these days. But otherwise, I'm very impressed and rather pleased, really. It's so nice to have this car back, this pure nostalgia kick. The car I bought all those years ago, never imagining there would be anything called Hubnut where I'd be talking about said cars from my past on that there internet. I mean, it's beautiful. I've even still got the original dealer plates. Yeah, it's full of lovely nostalgia everywhere I look. Oh, one thing I should show you, because I don't think I have yet, just before I finish off this video. Of course, we've got a remote boot release. It's Oriental. These speakers and that tape, that's an install by me. And isn't it beautiful how I've hacked the shelf to pieces to focus, to fit these speakers. Why aren't you focusing? There we go, focus established. And you'll see the wires run behind the trims, and that's because I found the original wiring in place. These were speakers on the SE Plus model, and so the original wiring was there when I had a route around, so that was quite good. I probably should unpack this poor little car. But there we go, Myrtle is home, and I can set to sorting out some of the jobs she needs. These wipers are very scruffy, the wheel trims are scruffy, the roof still needs a polish, there's a wheel bearing on, not sure where, and yeah, there's a few other things to sort out. Some of that may happen before she goes to the Netherlands, or it might not. One of the other challenges is, where do you put the beam benders? There doesn't seem to be anywhere on the lens to indicate where that might be. But that's all for a future video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I shall see you in a future video. Farewell.